Yeah, I did. And listen, the show was very kind on Wednesday, and I kind of poo-pooed it by acknowledging that I made the WAER Hall of Fame. And so I wanted to thank the show for that since I didn't do it properly then, and then also reveal some to the audience. When I got into this field, what I said success would be if people that I've never met are watching sports or reading about sports or thinking about sports, and the moment they get a new piece of information, somebody says, "Oh my God, I can't wait to hear what Nick says about this." And guys, it finally happened. Courtesy Pro Football Focus, there was a picture put out yesterday about Texans quarterback Davis Mills. And they said, "Oh my God, look at that neck." And I am all of a sudden bombarded left and right and down the middle. I was trending on Twitter briefly. I hadn't tweeted. You know why? Because everyone wanted my take on Davis Mills' beautiful neck. Now, since you're here for it, let me give it to you. Not the exact shape we would want for an elite athletic neck. It's got good width. Doesn't quite go out past the ears, which is the Terrell Suggs test. However, a little too long. So we're doing it's a dimensional thing. You want a shorter, a little wider neck. It's a good neck, but if it was a couple inches shorter, maybe the Texans win last night. But America, I've made it. People see a thick-necked athlete and they're like, "Oh my God, what's Nick gonna say?" Thank you. What an amazing week for me. What an amazing week for me.
Great.
Honestly. All right, this will be quick. What do you do if you have a newborn baby and a dog and you must watch 7 football games at the same time? If you're this guy, you just wake up and go to your living room. This guy appears to have it all. He's babysitting the baby, he's watching the dog, he's got 7 different games. This guy, I looked at him, I was like, this is Nick Light. This guy's like Nick. I remember last year when Nick was watching. This is the same setup Nick has. Remember, show the video or the picture of when Nick. Yeah, the only difference is Nick, for all his success, for the Hall of Fame nod, for being so successful with the fat necks, lives in a closet, apparently, with a tiny little corridor where he can put television sets.
Yeah.
I've never seen
My house
such a
is
small
single
room.
A battery.
My 2 girls live in a smaller room than you're.
Standing up. Yeah.
For as well as you're
house.
doing, Nick, I
Narrow
think we
house,
should
Jim.
all pitch in and get you maybe just some space.
No,
or
narrow
I
house.
actually felt bad
It's
for you,
12
buddy.
floors high.
Felt bad
but
for your
4
eyes.
feet wide.
That's my
It's
mom
weird.
tells me.
Get a lot of
Not
cardio.
good
Get
for
a lot
your
of
eyes.
steps
Yeah.
in. It's an odd house.
Well, then I love
Mills
it.
of houses.
I love it.
The Davis Mills neck of houses. Hey, Saints headed to Foxborough. Friend of the show, Cam Jordan, was asked about the world's greatest coach. Take a listen.
Hey, Cam, this might be a BS question, but Belichick's been coaching the Patriots since you were in middle school. I'm just curious when somebody's been around for as long as he has had as much team success as he's had since he's been there. What's kind of the reputation of a coach like that, just among players around the league?
I mean, he's a top-tier coach that clearly will do anything to win. Take that how you want it.
Appreciate your time, Cam.
Well, I'll tell you how I'm taking it. Optimistically. I think as Cam Jordan, friend of the show, is obviously an elite player himself. He knows about the dedication, sacrifice, and overall brilliance it takes to be at the top of your field, which Belichick is. And I know other people are looking at this a little more pessimistically. They're like, Kevin, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the scandal. One of the gates where he put out a little thing about tackling guys, Bounty Gate, and he missed the whole season. He was suspended. Oh, no, guys, that wasn't Bill Belichick. He's never missed a game. He's like basically the Cal Ripken of coaches. Flawless record all through. That's actually the Saints coach you're thinking of. So I think Cam Jordan is talking about being positive Bill Belichick, and a lot of people are confusing it because it's the Saints. One guy was suspended for a year for breaking the rules. The other guy won 6 Super Bowls. So it's just a confusion I wanted to clear up. All good, Jenna? We can move on.
I'm going to, because I was hoping you would clear that up. Drawing a blank. Lamar and the Ravens coming off the big win in Week 2 over the Chiefs, onto the Motor City in Week 3 to take on Jared Goff and the Lions. Lamar did miss practice on Thursday. Broussard, the team that should be on upset alert, though, in week 3 is blank.
The Cleveland Browns, Jenna, and I hate to do this for one of my hometown teams. I moved around a lot as a kid, but Cleveland should be on upset alert because they, until proven otherwise, the Browns play to the level of their competition. All right, and when you do that, you are always going to be in the crosshairs of a potential upset. Last year,
that's fair.
They squeaked by. They struggled with, but they beat Cincinnati, Houston, Philadelphia, Jacksonville, all hapless teams last year. And then a few weeks after those games, they lost to the Jets. It caught up to them. All right, and when you play to the level of your competition, it will eventually catch up with them. So this is a big test for the Browns. You got a tough Chicago defense. They're a brick wall against the run. So I think a lot of this is going to be on Baker Mayfield and him doing it through the air, but he's missing Jarvis Landry. Now, OBJ might be back, which is good news, but how does Baker handle that? Does he force the ball to OBJ? Does he feel too much pressure to get him involved quickly? So does that change things? And then finally, Chicago, I think they're going to be on an emotional high because everybody's been clamoring to see Justin Fields. His first start ever in the NFL.
Yep.
So this is alert, guys, alert. They're not an upset pick, but it's an alert.
An alert.
Watch out.
Okay.
It's on, what is it, red, orange,
I've
whatever.
learned from
It's an
Broussard
alert.
on this.
Brown.
All right, 90% of what Broussard said I think was really smart commentary. I missed 10% of it because I got distracted, I must admit, because number one fan of the show, Lil Wayne, just texted me, and it just says neck right. That's what I'm calling you now, neck right. You know what? That could catch on, Wheezy. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. All right, now before we give my answer, I want to explain something here. We are doing a pick segment later in the show where I will give you some underdogs that will win outright. So I'm traveling down the Broussard path of upset alert. Not sure if this upset comes in, but anytime two teams are playing and the spread's more than 7 and the underdog has the better quarterback, the favorite's got to be on upset alert. So I'm obviously talking about Washington versus Buffalo. So I know what you're thinking. Oh, Nick, you must be high on Heineke. I do actually like Heineke a bit.
Yeah.
However, this is not about Heineke being awesome. This is about quietly Josh Allen being horrible this year. Oh, Nick, how bad could he be? Oh, well, there's 32 teams in football, and he's 33rd in yards per pass. He's 29th in rating. He's 31st in completion percentage. It was underrated and underreported last week. Aaron Rodgers talking about integrity in media. Where's the reportage on the Buffalo Bills? Oh, because they won 35-0. Everybody played well. Au contraire, mon ami. Josh Allen played terribly. Somehow they won 35-0 anyway. He's yet to play a good game this season. He didn't play well in his final playoff game last year against Kansas City. He didn't play that well in his previous playoff game last year in the opening, who the hell did they play in the second round? Whomever it was, I forget what the playoff bracket was. They didn't play that well in that. He didn't play that well in that game either. The Bills don't have a Josh Allen problem. But if they lose to the Washington and he plays poorly and sprays the ball around the field once again, there could start to be one. And so Josh Allen, fresh off that amazing contract, you would like to see him, not be 30th in the league in every major passing category. So I think they've got to be on upset alert wilds against that Washington defense.
Okay, I'm stretching out my arm because I'm going to throw a grenade into the segment in a second. Are you ready? Again, this is an alert. It's very Broussard-esque. It's like when you see on Waze that there's a cop ahead. And you say, maybe it's there, maybe it's not. You should be on alert. That's what it is. Chiefs should be on alert against the Chargers. Oh, Wilds, no. 20-0. We can still go 20-0 with a loss. Okay, here's why. We learned 3 things from the Chiefs-Ravens game. Number 1 is Tyreek Hill can be neutralized. Anthony Averett shut him down. So the idea that Tyreek Hill has to have this monster game, he doesn't have to. He had 3 catches for 14 yards. He can be neutralized with a backup guy. You don't need Jalen Ramsey on the field. Okay, thing we learned number 2.
2 people.
The Chiefs cannot stop the run. Chiefs cannot stop the run. They're the worst run defense in the league. They're giving up 200 yards. The second worst is giving up 160 yards. So not only are they bad, they're bad by a large margin. 3, to beat the Chiefs, you need great quarterback play, which brings me to Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert, and this is going to get you so mad, but it's true. Justin Herbert, week 17, beat the Chiefs when they rested their starters. I'm not saying that's the biggest game in the world. Of course it's not. Andy Reid rested his starters. But is it absolutely nothing? No, I don't think so. At the very least, it's good to go into Arrowhead as a visualization exercise and throw some touchdowns. So I think that matters a little bit. The other time you play the Chiefs, when everybody played, remember, it was his very first start. He got the call like, hey, we just injured Tyrod Taylor with a needle in the lungs. You have to play. And what did he do? Threw for over 300 yards, had 2 touchdowns in a game that the Chiefs won in overtime. So do I think Justin Herbert, after a year of experience, going into Arrowhead, doing some visualization exercises, is better than the guy who played the Chiefs and brought them to overtime for a win after a year in the league? I do. So I'm saying it's an alert, Nick. I'm not saying they win, but it's a high-level alert.